Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to more GBFC. Today we're going to talk about Tuchel's interview. I guess we're at the point now with England where I'm personally as an England fan going to double down on the excitement compared to what it used to be. Qualifiers, for me they were just a means to an end. We know that England are probably going to qualify for the tournament. So why would you get that invested in the qualifiers? And I think a lot of whether or not you get invested in it could come down to the motivation that you get as a fan from the manager. When you see players in the last international break, I think there was, 8 players stepped out of Lee Carsley's squad because, what are we playing for? Is it worth it? A lot of times now in football, you look at, particularly even a club like Chelsea, you could say, why would the energy in a Conference League game match what you see in the Premier League? Why would it match what you would get if it was a Champions League game? If you expect to win every match, then do you show up and be your best version because you expect that you're going to win? So I think when England fans start to look at this man, and I mean, look at his face. How can you not like this bloke? Look at him. He's got a glint in his eye here, doesn't he? And as a Chelsea fan, I feel qualified, probably more so than most, to talk about Thomas Tuchel and about how he motivates you. Because, again, bringing up his mug again, shall we? He just looks like a man who knows that he's got a job to do. And I think when it comes to England's expectations, let's not beat around the bush. If we don't win the World Cup, it doesn't really matter how close we get now because we've been so close. The World Cup was a bit different because semi-final in 2018. I was at the match in Moscow. I was at the ground when Trippier scored the free kick against Croatia. Arguably, probably the most excited I've ever been in football in my lifetime because with Chelsea winning the Champions League, we never really had a moment where we're actually going to win it here. Now, in the 2012 one, Drogba scored a penalty. We were never leading the game. Against Man City, that City team was so good, and it was almost as if that belief that we were going to win was never there until we actually had the whistle go at the end. For a Chelsea fan to believe we were going to win that Champions League again was crazy. With England, it's been 2 Euros finals now, and the last World Cup was a bit of a disaster, really. We went out to France, didn't play well. Harry Kane misses a penalty. Those days are going to happen. But I don't think I've ever been in a position with England where I'm right, it's now, we've hired the elite manager. We've got to flipping do this now, haven't we? And he was asked in an interview, and this video here is from the ITV Sport interview. I can't show the interview. I want to talk about a lot of different elements of that interview because I think it is such a perfect interview. And I'm also very aware that you can play on the emotion of football a bit too much sometimes. Managers will go into a press conference with the sole vision and purpose of getting people excited, but for what reason? The one thing that is the most important that Tuchel has said about why England haven't won anything yet is because we are always too scared to fail as opposed to being excited to win. Or the joys of trying to win actually are always overran by the fear of losing. And look, England fans, right? We can play into this massively because, every 2 years for one summer, It's Coming Home becomes the song that we all sing. And then eventually, by what definition that means, it doesn't come home. Do you know what I mean? And then we all stop singing it again for another 2 years. But that is part and parcel of the fun of football. So yes, there is a lot of pressure from England fans, but we've spent so many years now saying we've got the best league in the world. We earn the most money in the Premier League. We pay players the most money. So surely eventually this must translate into glory on the international stage. There's always been a sense with watching England play that we are more scared to actually go out the competition than we are to go into it feeling like we're the team that everybody fears. Fearing in terms of the opposition instead of being that team that people fear. I think people thrive off of playing England in a knockout game because they know that everybody believes it's coming home, but then do the players actually believe that? And a lot can go down, and we can all say, was Gareth Southgate a motivator? I don't think the way that he set us out to play football was necessarily motivating. And that is what leads us in to talk about what Tuchel wants from these players. Because something he focuses on a lot within the interview, and he also does a pre-match presser for the Albania game and Latvia game too. And he speaks a lot there about rhythm and the freedom of expression. When we look back to the Euros in the summer, the most expressive free player going into that tournament was Cole Palmer, yet he played and started every game off the bench. Comes on in the final, and it is his moment of magic and brilliance that even gives England the glimmer of hope to win that final. Spain were better than us pretty much on all fronts, really. And I think they managed the tie in that final so much better than we did. But it's because we've got so many good players. And when you look across an England squad, tournament by tournament, you're like, well, we've got so many good players here. These players are amazing for their clubs, but why doesn't it work for England? And I think a lot of the times there are shackles put on the players because we don't want to lose, rather than going into every game thinking, we've got the best squad, we've got the best team, let's go in there and actually beat the opposition. So I think it's also important for Tuchel to recognise, which I think he does very well in this interview, that there isn't anywhere near as much time when you're an international manager as there is when you're a club manager. When you're a club manager, you see the players pretty much every day, apart from a little break in the summer. Then you get pre-season, and then the season lasts from August till May. So you've always got the opportunity day by day to implement the strategy, the mindset, the mentality in order to make a team winners. The biggest difference on the international stage is, he says it himself, in the build-up to this World Cup, there are 6 camps that are going to happen for England, and then it is the real deal, the major tournament, the Holy Grail. So within those 6 camps, you've got 10 days in each camp, which means Thomas Tuchel has only got 60 days, technically, of real life time, as well as obviously all the additional phone calls, showing up to Premier League games, watching the players, learning about the players. But in terms of hands-on opportunity and hands-on time, 60 days to make England go from 60 years of being nearly men or nowhere near men and bringing us the second star on the shirt. Which, look, let's be honest. When you're a football fan in life, if your country wins the World Cup, there are very few things in life that could be comparable to that. Maybe your wedding day. Maybe the day your son or your daughter's born. That could be right up there. But many would also argue that there wouldn't be a better day than England winning a World Cup. And I want to see it. All I've got is the stories of what my dad tells me it was like. And I mean, he was literally just born when England won the World Cup. So only my granddads can tell me, really, what it was like. And my nan was like, blimey, they're too worried about the football. Meanwhile, I'm pregnant and I've got a son to have. Do you know what I mean? So all I've got is stories to go from. We've only got videos to watch. It really would be such a special thing. And also you see the way that football unites people in England, but at the same time, it also breaks us. There have been some embarrassing moments, embarrassing stories, where you see that when England go out, you hear some of the worst, right? So I just love to feel what it would be like to win it. Do you know what I mean? Like, until you do, I don't think you can relate to it. I don't think people understand it. But I think what England fans need to do here is, Tuchel's got 60 days with the players until it is the major tournament when it comes to these England camps. So he's only got a set amount of time to try and implement this winning mentality into the squad. So when these friendlies come, the ones that I've been saying for years, like I'm so sick of looking at the friendlies, but particularly in the qualifiers, Wembley's got to be loud. We have got to treat these games as if like this is all part now of a journey. From the moment we play Albania on this weekend at Wembley until that World Cup, and during that World Cup, all the energy's got to be the same. We see this now as the start of a journey. We've got that elite gaffer now. We've got the knockout manager. Let's use that and build something here going into this tournament. And look, yes, there's no guarantee we're going to qualify, but I'm going to try not to play on that too much because England really should qualify from our group. Let's be honest. We need to be beating Albania. Good team. But then we've also got to beat Latvia in the middle of next week as well. We've got to get the job done. So we can't get too carried away. But I also think England fans have done their bit in really backing the team, really getting carried away over the years. And I think it's time that the players start to embody what this nation is all about when it comes to football. We're dreamers. We're believers. And I think if the players had that same feeling, and I'm sure they all know that they're good. I'm sure they all know that there is an expectation that we've got to win something again. But I think it's about the style that the manager puts on those players when he's got the opportunity to do so that actually enables them to embody that when they're out there on the field for their country. So, Tuchel also mentions in this interview about how Brazilians and Argentinians that he's managed at club level, you can feel like playing for Brazil and Argentina, for example, is the pinnacle for them. There is nothing bigger, nothing better than playing for your country. And I think as much as I'm not going to tell any footballer, you should preferentiate that. You should really, like, I can't tell people what they should have as their favour. But I do think that the culture needs to come from making sure that every single time Tuchel is with these players now, nobody wants to miss out on it. And he alludes to all of this in the interview. It's why it is such a good interview, because you, as a fan, you know what you want to see and what you want to hear. And I think he exudes this. He exudes the class. He exudes the passion, the excitement that he speaks about in all of the things we've heard him say so far since he took over as England manager. He wants everyone to be excited. And look, I am absolutely buying into it 100%. And I can, because I've seen this guy join Chelsea in January 2021 when we were absolutely dog poo. And then 5 months later, we lifted the biggest trophy in club football. So I know what this man can do. And I just hope the players can feel it as well. And I hope that the 60 days that he's got, I think that's the case. It's 6 camps, 10 days each camp. You know what it's like, international breaks. We all know him. Can he convert 60 years of pain, which is currently ingrained into a country, and turn them into winners? And obviously that is the holy grail question. And if the answer was guaranteed yes, we'd all be sticking tons of money on it, wouldn't we? But I think more so than anything else, we invest so much of our hearts and souls into following England. And then inevitably, yes, the team can perform. We can get far in tournaments. But that final bit is what lets us down. And I don't want to say that England always let us down. But certainly the entertainment, the football certainly does. And I think that plays on the fact that when it really matters, we don't have that extra mile because we don't have the belief that we can. Now I think we should. So, England, Albania this weekend. I'm really excited for this. And this is step one to even get fans to be excited about these little games in the build-up to things again. And if the fans are, and that translates to the atmosphere, then the players will be as well. And then momentum can build going into the tournament if we so happen to make it there, which I believe we will. But anyway, going to wrap this video up here. The interview's amazing. If you haven't seen it, check it out on ITV Sport. It just makes you feel good if you're an England fan. If you don't support England, this ain't for you, so don't worry about it. You can go there and leave a comment about how we haven't won anything since '66 if you're really that sad and bored during the international break. But anyway, going to wrap this video up here. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to more GBFC if you're new. I'll see you tomorrow.